Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Divian. Today I am playing Rollercoaster Tycoon and the Corkscrew Follies expansion pack and the Loopy landscapes. I'm going to be playing through all of these. There's a lot. So we're going to start with Forest Frontiers. So to start with, entry. So I've been playing this game since it came out basically. I remember seeing it advertised, being super excited about it. Let's build the thing that I always build first. Really not very popular, but a good start. Put that at $1. Always want that on maximum. Not going to worry about shops and stalls. Ride improvements. Okay, I've got the two most important roller coasters, so I won't worry about gentle rides. Wing ship. Keeping forest build a thriving theme park in a large cleared area. You need to have at least 250 guests in the park at the end of October year 1 with a park rating of at least 600. Alright, it's gonna rain now. We want to try and get a coaster built as soon as possible. Those are your... God, there's all these custom tracks. Crazy Caterpillar is a really good one. What's Rollercoaster 1? This looks like something I've made at some point. Yeah, it is. You can build your own coasters, or you can stick with the pre-built ones. I think I'll build my own because I've got a bunch of time. I'm gonna make something pretty simple. You start to make them really cool and complicated and they get to the point where no one will ride them anyway because they're too scary. It's gonna be really short now. But I've already spent $3,000 on it. Did I even open the park? Didn't even open the park. Oh my god, here comes the rain again. That is the thing with Forest Frontiers. It does rain a lot. Which obviously affects how people will ride. They won't ride roller coasters while it's raining. Alright, there's a really basic roller coaster. I'm going to set that at $3. Build a nice long queue. Roller coasters always very popular. Open that up. Now, we need some handymen to clean up the inevitable puke. New ride attraction now available. Log flume. Log flumes are pretty good. We want a mechanic. Now we need somewhere for people to eat and drink. I'm putting a burger bar, drink stand. I'm going to change the inspection time to every 10 minutes. I always do this with roller coasters. I find that it helps stop things from crashing. Now, you can see the space we have is really big. You can also buy more land. So anywhere that's got this little white post available to buy. But you can easily play Forest Frontiers without buying any of the extra land. God, that still seems so loud. Sorry about the audio levels. I've been playing other games. What people are saying. Looks too intense. Oh, did I make it too intense? Very high intensity. Great. Oh, people are still going to ride it though. It's fine. So your main source of money is generally going to be roller coasters. Do I have something small with the wooden roller coaster? Oh, that's really big. Wood chip's not too bad. How can I fit this though? How much is it? 7,000. Okay, I don't have enough for that yet anyway. So we need 250 guests and a park rating of 600. So the park rating's already over 600. We just have to keep it that way. Yes, we got 65, but that'll increase really quickly. Something log flume 1. This is probably one that I've built in the past. How much is that? 2,878. So that's nice and cheap. Try and maximize space here. Log flumes are really popular, but they do tend to have a really long wait time. A good way to get, if you've got a really crowded park and you need to get a lot of people off the paths, build a log flume. They'll be waiting in queues for hours. So these aren't instructional videos, obviously. I'm not talking about how to play. It's pretty obvious how to play. It's not a difficult game to learn. I'll just be playing through all of the scenarios and kind of giving my tips on how I find it best to play. Now we have only $1,800. We do start the game with a loan 10,000. There's no real need to pay that off because in this scenario there's nothing about park value or how much money you've got or anything like that. It's a pretty good track. I might actually save this track. I like to save track designs. Have a check on what everyone's thinking. They want more thrilling stuff, but the roller coaster's too intense. Well, that's fine. See what our research is doing. Designing a roller coaster. Alright, so next goal is the wooden roller coaster I think I'll put in. They're pretty expensive to build, so these small steel ones are really cheap. So that's why they're great as a first one. I've been through all of the maps before and won entire games with just these coasters, never worrying about building others. Just really not necessary. I guess a commenting park entrance fee is very cheap. Try not to make the park fee too much. It drives people away. But also, it's not really necessary. It's not really necessary to make money. You don't make the most money off your park fees. You make money off people being in the park and riding rides. And also, if you make your entry fee too high, people can't afford the rides in the park after very long. So, oh, we got our steel roller coaster. I didn't even notice that. These ones are really good. A good one to do here is the shuttle loop. Super cheap, very quick. It's like a few seconds ride. If we can find a little nook. Right, we don't need a very long queue for the shuttle loop because it's such a fast ride. And we'll only make this one $1 because people get sick of paying money for it. Actually, make $1.20. Like, you see, it's just a loop. Literally a shuttle loop. Crashes are absolutely disastrous in a park, so you really need to avoid them. I'm not too worried about space management or scenery or anything really pretty like that. I'll mess around with things like that when I'm bored. If I'm playing one that's a 3-year-long scenario or something and I've got nothing to do, then I'll do scenery. Or if you really need to attract extra people, let's put in a slide. I won't worry about a queue because, yeah, they're not terribly popular. So we've got nearly half the guests we need now. So we're in May. So the year runs from March to October. So it's 8 months. Each month is somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Alright, we've got a lot of people sicking up on the paths, the intense roller coasters. Really want to be just putting heaps of money into building stuff early on. I won't use all that room because we're all the way into the year and we're making good money. The biggest money maker is Rollercoaster 1, $3,000 per hour. So early on we just want to be putting as much money as possible into construction. If you want to look at what people are saying, you want something more thrilling, you want a nice range. Soon we'll get people complaining that the log flume ride is too long of a wait. See if we can build another steel one. Oh my god. I have a tendency to build these way too intense, so these are more expensive as well. Yeah, that's like $10,000. Bisley is $7,000. I build another cheap one. It's $12,000. So this one was really cheap, and that's making us $3,000 an hour. Wooden Crazy Rodent. Oh, those are really good coasters. There's a couple of really little ones. So there's Crazy Vol and there's Mini Miner. Mini Miner's a nice cheap one. Let's do 2 of these. These are always really popular as well. Park entrance fee is very cheap. It's at $15. I don't think I'll bring it up any higher. I don't really want them to be wasting money on the park entrance, and we don't have our required number of guests yet, so we want to attract as many people as possible. We need to sort of spread the park out a bit, because otherwise we end up in a situation where there's way too many people crammed in way too small of a space. Annoying thing with Rollercoaster Tycoon is you can't speed up time, so even when you've hit the requirements for your scenario, you have to just wait it out. Not so much of an issue with Forest Frontiers because it's a short game, but when you're playing a 3-year scenario and you've already met all the requirements by the end of year 1, it is really frustrating to have to sit through those extra couple of hours to wait for the scenario to end. So we're now in June, so we are about nearly halfway. So it's really annoying when you're playing a 3-year scenario and you've got to sit, if you've finished all your requirements in that first year, you've got to sit through nearly another hour and a half of gameplay. And in that time you can have crashes, you can have bad weather, you can have things go wrong. That means people, like, you can no longer meet your scenario requirements. So you always want to be trying to keep on top of it, and don't just meet your scenario requirements and then sit back and relax, or, you know, wander off and go and do your housework or something, because you can come back to a park completely destroyed. If you are going to do that, if you are going to leave it running and walk away and do something else, which I definitely have done in the past, you have to be aware that you have to save your game, and don't leave it for too long. You might want to leave it for like 10 minutes, come back, check, make sure everything's still fine. That's perfectly fine. But just always have that save there, because you could come back and, you know, your park that's got 2,000 people in it and a park rating of 999, you come back and there's been a crash and you've got like 200 people there and your park rating's 200 and your scenario is just screwed. Alright, Rollercoaster 1 is now making a lot of money. Alright, I want to try and get wood chip, which was 7,000 I think it was. I keep forgetting. Yeah, 7,000. I rely really heavily on roller coasters. It's Rollercoaster Tycoon, you know. Really the focus of most of your parks will be roller coasters, and everything else, like your thrill rides, your gentle rides, your shops and stalls and scenery, is all just there to augment the roller coasters. Oh, let's put in a haunted house. It makes funny noises. So now we're making money at a decent speed. We should be able to build that wooden roller coaster soon. Wow, people are throwing up everywhere. Generally, you want at least one handyman for every 100 or so guests. If you can have double that, even better. The more roller coasters you have and the more intense the roller coasters, you're going to need more handymen. Generally, one mechanic for every roller coaster is a little good practice every 10 minutes. You always want your roller coasters to be inspected every 10 minutes. Single rail roller coaster is the next one that's coming out. But we really want that wooden one. Top comment, I feel sick. So you can see that people are starting to say it's too crowded here, and I've been standing in line for log flume 1 for ages. So complaints about log flume wait times, you're just always going to get them. There's nothing you can really do. A log flume that's really exciting and draws in a lot of people, it's going to have long wait times. It's like Disneyland, I guess. The single rail roller coasters, I don't build them very much. I usually build them when I've got nothing else to do. But they're not terribly popular. It is getting very crowded, so I want to try and stretch this out a bit. Some of these rides are absolutely crazy. Alright, so it'll fit lengthways there. I think we'll put it there. Get rid of some trees. I don't have enough money for it yet, but that's fine. People never complain that this park is really ugly. You put in nice scenery and they'll say the scenery is really nice here, but they'll never complain with no scenery. It's never really a problem. Alright, I probably don't want any more roller coasters. Let's just do thrill rides and then gentle rides, and we might get the go-karts. Lots of people feeling sick. Let's put in some seats so people can sit down. So there's certain things that people will complain about, and there's certain things they won't complain about. So people will say they feel sick. Sitting down often helps, but not always. They won't complain about there being nowhere to sit. You won't get people thinking, there's nowhere to sit here, or anything like that. I'm not thirsty. That's such an annoying thing. Who walks past a drink stand at an amusement park and goes, I don't even want to drink. Why would I want to drink? I'm not thirsty. Roller coaster $3. I don't really want to charge any more than that for this particular type of roller coaster. So generally with your cheaper roller coasters, you won't get away with charging as much for entry. One of these mini steel ones, charge $2 for. If you try and charge $5, no one will go near it. Whereas if you have a steel roller coaster, a really good steel roller coaster, you can charge $5 and you will get a lot of people using it initially, until it gets older and then they won't want to. This park is really clean and tidy. Alright, so that's a good sign. If we've got this park is really clean and tidy, so you want to pay, generally you pay attention to these top sort of, what is this, 10? If you pay attention to these top ones that you see, that's a really good indicator of how your park's going. Standing in line for log flume 1 for ages. Again, not much you can do about log flume queues that make the queue line shorter. You can't speed up the ride. Okay, we got a Ferris wheel. Where are we going to put... Oh yeah, I was going to put wood chip over there. So I'll just put this Ferris wheel Let's put it over here. No point ever really putting the Ferris wheel above each other. Make a really short queue for the Ferris wheel. Being the best value park in the country. Now that's generally because your park entrance fee. If you get several notifications that your park entrance fee is cheap, you'll get the best value park award. Okay, now you see that our guest numbers have stalled, which is probably due to the fact that we've got a lot of crowds. I'm going to do an advertising campaign. Well, we don't need a lot more guests, so let's just do a half price entry and we'll run it for 4 weeks. Free food, drink. I'll do free drinks. That's a good one to get people in. And, you know, you don't lose a lot of money on drinks, so it's fine. Free rides, you'll lose a lot of money. Advertising campaigns are expensive, so I'm going to avoid that. So you can see here the grass is starting to grow, and I've been setting the handymen not to mow grass, otherwise they don't clean the footpaths. Guests don't complain about grass growing, so it's not worth the trouble. So you'll see now we've got a nice increase of people coming to the park, and we'll see that green arrow come up again. Yeah. So we've got a lot of people in queues, but there's still a lot of people walking around. Roller coaster 1 is broken down. Oh no, that's our most profitable roller coaster. Might actually hire another mechanic because they're quite busy inspecting and stuff now. 5,000. I could build another mini steel roller coaster, but I really want that wood chip one. We just want to get to that 600 guests. Still got, what, another 2.5 months? We've got heaps of time. So you see we've got our green arrow back. 555 guests. If you're wanting to get more money early on, I could have done this differently and I could have charged more for these roller coasters initially, and then you've got to check in on them because people start to complain they're too expensive as they get older. But, you know, Forest Frontiers is the first scenario. It's very easy. It doesn't take anywhere near as much of that kind of fine-tuning. Observation tower. Hey! I like the observation tower. Not very popular. Some more people starting to say they need a bathroom, so we'll pop in a bathroom. I think a bathroom over here. Oh. I think the profit must have dropped on that ride. Alright, merry-go-round 1 is now losing money, so let's go and drop that entry down. Drop down to 60 cents. Alright, let's put in an observation tower. The higher it goes, the more people will go on it, but the longer it also takes. I don't want the queue too long, and we'll make that just $1 because it's not a particularly entertaining ride. Alright, we've now met the scenario requirements, so we have 615 guests, park rating is 879. We've got the safest park award. Often I find that right after you get the safest park award is when roller coasters crash. We also have car ride. I'm going to start building that. I just want to try and spread out these crowds a bit. We now have quite a lot of people. 4 people in the park that I really wanted. I hate these racing cars. I like the sports cars. Staff costs are really not very much. Let's see. Monorail? Nah. Alright, we've done all of the gentle rides. Got enough roller coasters, rides, water rides. So now it's at the point where I just need to maintain. So you want to be scanning all the time, looking for empty queue lines. Let's see. What are our guest sorts? It's too crowded. Yes, I know. Lots of people complaining about the crowds. Go here, you can see that it's the entire park where they're complaining about the crowds. So it's, if you can see that it's in any particular area, you can generally work around that. We're nearly at the point where I can build wood chip now. Don't really need to anymore, but it's fine. I don't have an information kiosk, so nobody can get umbrellas. Sorry, guys. Oh, roller coaster 1. You'll see the queue's empty. That's because it's raining. People don't like to go on roller coasters when it's raining, obviously. Let's build wood chip. Right about there. Alright, now I'm super duper broke. I don't even have enough money to build these parts. For this one, I could probably put it at $4. And people will pay that. They probably pay $5, but I don't need the money, so... there's not really anything else I need to do at this stage. Now, don't worry when you build a new roller coaster and you see heaps of people turning away like this. people will do that just because it's a new roller coaster. Once it's run around once, it's done its test round, more people will go on it. A lot of people saying they want to get off Ferris wheel, so I'm just going to lower the rotations. I'd be so mad if I got on a Ferris wheel and it only went around it. But our guests are still increasing. So this is where you can really tank your park rating if you increase your guests quickly and the park becomes really crowded. You can find yourself with enough guests but a really crummy park rating. Alright, our guest numbers have stabilised at 720-ish. Park is really clean and tidy. That's a really good indication that we've got enough handymen. And as you can see, they don't care about the overgrown grass. Mini maze or spiral maze? I always do really cheap. I'll do $1 to start out with. And maximum number of people, turn that right up. I love how these people walk in and they're immediately like, ugh, I can't see, how do I get out? How do I get out? I just walked in here. I think there's only one path in this maze too. Oh no, there's not. If you go into the spirals, they don't go anywhere. Gotta go through this spiral. Go that spiral doesn't go anywhere. You gotta go through this. Out you get. You guys got it. Good job. What do people think about this roller coaster? Too intense, too intense. Roller coaster 4 was great. Just looking at roller coaster 4 makes me feel sick. I can relate. I would never. I would never go on a roller coaster. Never, 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 never. Alright, so we're nearly done. We're in October now. Only a couple of weeks until the scenario ends. There's our ending park. That's probably going to be it, I think. Can't afford to put in anything else right now. I don't need to worry about paying off the loan. That's fine. I never ended up building the other mini one. It is the 23rd, so it'll be just a couple more minutes now. Bumper cars! Let's put those in. Why not? And we'll make that $1 because I don't even need to think about money. Okay, nice little amusement park. Hopefully we don't get a crash in the next like few minutes. That's the worst, when you get right towards the end and something and like a roller coaster crashes. Your park rating goes down and yeah. That's why you regularly save your game. Yay! So we've achieved the park objective. Oh, put in. Right, so that was Forest Frontiers. Thank you so much for watching. Be back next time with another Rollercoaster Tycoon scenario. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like my content. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And I'll see you back here next time. Bye.